If there was a movie or a show from your childhood that you could reboot, what would you want it to be and why?
That's crazy because I firmly against the rebooting stuff solely because I like it how it was. But I'm gonna answer the question because I really need to think about this. The reboot, I think, like The Sweet Life of Zack and Cody. Like I would reboot something like that just to give my childhood self a feeling of like, yeah, man, you can do whatever you want or live a certain life, and it kind of just be centered around you as a kid. Like they were around a bunch of adults or older people that made them feel like what they were doing as children were wrong. But they was just being kids at the end of the day. So I think it's something powerful in that, like letting kids be kids and having a kids show centered around kids and it not having like super adult themes, but it having things that teenagers or preteens will actually experience and go through.
Welcome to Accepted Addictions with pDubs. Get ready to immerse yourself in a podcast that's open to people of all stripes and persuasions. Accepted Addictions is not just a podcast, it's a movement. We go over societal norms that are considered acceptable, but are often toxic to our growth, development, and even behavior. This is a platform where we explore the multifaceted identities within ourselves, recognizing that some versions have it all figured out, while others lean into that negativity. This is Accepted Addictions, where every version of you, every evolution of you, is not just embraced, but celebrated. So sit back, open your ears, grab a drink. You know I'll be sipping on my kombucha and prepare for an engaging journey.
Why everything that's supposed to be bad make me feel so good? Everything they told me not to do is exactly what I would. Man, I tried to stop, man, I tried the best I could, but what your addiction is Accepted Addictions with pDubs.
So welcome back to another episode of Accepted Addictions. Today, we're diving into an episode or addiction that we haven't really gotten to before. And today we have somebody new on to add to the conversation. I want to give your own introduction. I'm not going to say too much.
I'm Uraelb. I'm from Los Angeles, California. And right now, I want to make sure y'all know that you're in the space of nostalgia. You're in the space of diving back to those bliss moments of your childhood and remembering those good feelings where life was easy, life was magical, sensational, if you will. But you grow up and that becomes a little different. So right now, nostalgia is the topic. I'm in the deep bag of nostalgia because of my artistic project. It's an album called Respect the Real Volume 2. And I really walk myself back to my childhood to explore the things I grew up experiencing, to come into the now and figure out, well, how did this shape me? Who do I want to be moving forward? And I couldn't do that without going backwards.
I love that. Our past is something that we carry unconsciously or consciously, right? And it makes it our identity, and some of those fascinations show up in what we make and what we watch and what we consume every day. So I definitely want to dive into nostalgia because it is an accepted addiction. We see it every day. So with the topic, I want us to think about your favorite childhood show, game, movie, one thing you really wanted to watch after school, or soundtrack, what word for word, what was it for you, especially with you starting with your project and having to go backward to meet yourself forward. What was it for you?
Honestly, it was for sure TV and a lot of media, like cinema and movies and stuff. Like the smell of popcorn, like brings me to a crazy like bliss state. I don't know what it is about it, but it reminds me of going to the movies or like getting ready to watch something I really, really want to watch. And a movie in particular or a TV show that really brings that nostalgia out of me would probably be something like Kenan and Kel. That's one of those shows where I watched growing up. I'm like, dang, I can't wait to like have this kind of fun or get into these type of shenanigans. Or another show that brings that kind of like, wow, this feeling is bliss feeling back for me is The Boondocks.
Oh, yeah.
Watching The Boondocks is one of those like, man, this is what black cinema or black, storytelling is like. And I love watching that as an adult too, because it reminded me of how I used to look at it versus how I look at it now. And it's a whole different world.
Right. So how did you look at it then versus now?
With The Boondocks, it was just funny. Like it's a little kid or two little kids and they're growing up with their grandparent and knowing that they see life differently and they all kind of like represent different archetypes of like the Black community. At the time, I'm just looking at it like, oh, this is hilarious. Like they're just, you know, doing nigga shit, for lack of better words.
Right.
And when it came to being an adult and rewatching it a lot more, it still hits, but it hits way harder because I understand it more, and I understand it from a more adult and like less innocent lens. And really, it's always been a show to me that aligned with my mind, like not only politically, but mentally and spiritually, just the way they like telling their stories and how they peel back the layers of the onion on the Black community.
Absolutely. I began with Adult Swim, Comedy Central, all of the Mad TV, all of those things really gave us a kind of language, right? A kind of like an inside to kind of understand our sense of who we are as people. And it's crazy to have that much representation, but I'm happy that we had little things there that are sprinkled around. Like I had My Wife and Kids. I love that show.
Me too. Yeah, that was one of my ones. Yeah.
It was so funny. It was just being a family, you know what I mean? Like seeing that with my siblings, seeing things like that, it just gave me hope that I can have that myself, you know? So it's beautiful, you know, 20 years later, that they're still talked about like they just dropped yesterday. Because we see Boondocks and look at Young Thug and what's going on with him.
I'm glad you peeved, because I don't know if other people noticed that, but me and my girlfriend said the same thing. It's like, oh, he on some gangsta-licious shit.
You know, Boondocks is like the Black South Park. Because the South Park, they said is straight to this day doing his thing.
Yo, we was also just talking about that too, because we've been watching South Park a lot more recently, and I also grew up watching that. But of course, as a kid, it hit different than it does now. And I'm looking back like, yo, South Park is hilarious. Like they was snapping on people, man. And it really is like a different version of the Boondocks. Just like a different suburb, different community, and different like, you know, type of people.
That's what I'm saying. I loved it. I don't know. I just love media in general. And I can tell based on your music, we're definitely going to dive more into music because I have so many anecdotes and things to point out that I listen to. But it's this book called, from Issa Rae. It's called Should Be Smarter Now. What she talks about is growing up and being obsessed with briefcases after watching like Danny DeVito and Twins. Twins is this movie. I don't know if you watched it.
Yeah.
Arnold Schwarzenegger. I never watched it either. That's a little too far out. But she said that scene basically shaped how she imagined serious business and even her future. And that's the kind of nostalgia I'm talking about, right? Like these critical cultural moments that stick with us for life. And even listening to your music and what you started with, your nostalgia album to begin with, why do you think artists, musicians, filmmakers, designers, Issa Rae are always back to the past when creating things? Because it's nostalgia is here and it's here to stay.
And the weird thing is, nostalgia is one of those like it's slightly taboo in terms of media and art, because like it's a cheat code. Like you can go back to things people already liked or things you liked, and be like, oh, I just want to redo this. And it seems like it'll be easy, but people already love it. So you battling a preconceived bias and love for it and trying to remake it is just going to like either go really good or really bad. So I think the obsession with nostalgia is just because it feels good. And the reason my album is so special to me is because I thought it was going to feel like that until I really like unpacked what was in the nostalgia. And I'm like, oh yeah, that wasn't that good. A lot of this was very bad for me.
Right.
That's the crazy part is it seems like, you know, from hindsight and looking back, it's all, you know, roses and pixies and bliss. But the idea that there was so much you were actually going through at the time that you were trying to get through, the nostalgia is just the good parts of that. It almost reminds me of social media where you see the highlights of everybody's life. And nostalgia is literally like that. Like social media right now is just a big nostalgia trip. So
absolutely.
It felt timely for me to do this, not only artistically, but, you know, socially and politically, because everybody's trying to find that state of bliss and they go back to their childhood to do it.
Absolutely. I love how you it's so many points I want to touch on that, because I especially feel like right now, you know, things are being recreated because it's easy. But really, like you said, we're just holding on to these moments that we feel are amazing or perfect. Because we think back, oh, I'm going to be my old self from 2015 or when I was in high school. But if we really had a lens following us, Even think about the butterfly effect. In the movie Butterfly Effect, he was able to go back to his past and alter it. Once you get the chance to do so, you realize you didn't need to do that. That made you who you are today. And once you change that one thing, you are now a whole different person. It just teaches nostalgia. You really go back, and if you have that lens following you, it teaches you to be grateful for where you are in your present instead of trying to yearn and look for that certainty or feeling or thing that you're chasing. It's so funny because the other day I saw a video of current movies in the movie theater. It was just back to back to back to back trailers of Jurassic Park reboot, Sonic reboot, Freaky Friday reboot, Superman reboot, I Know What You Did Last Summer reboot, even like Lilo and Stitch. And I was like, it felt endless. And it's like when we see all these reboots, like, is it exciting or lazy? Especially with you saying you wanted to go to nostalgia and realizing, like, after doing the project, you had to kind of chop and screw it. What do you feel about it?
Yeah, that's the weird thing to me is, like I said, I thought it was going to feel good and people were going to tap into it like, oh, I remember this. They're like, yeah, that was a good time. Until it became more psychologically, like, taxing for me to do it. And when it boiled down to it, it felt good. Like, remembering certain things that happened or going through my childhood and like young adult life and feeling like, yeah, these were good moments. It did exactly what you said. It made me appreciate the present, especially from a lens of, even if it was bad, like, look where I am now. Like, I'm standing strong, and I'm like in a completely better place where I don't have to like bank on the nostalgia and bliss so much because, like, it's fleeting and I might never feel it again. That's really the main reason we grasp onto the nostalgia, is because a lot of times we live in lack and we just need to go back to something that'll make us feel good. Or when it comes to addictions, we're constantly chasing that feeling. So we need to do it over and over again, or else we're not going to feel stable. But being present is the only thing you can do to get out of that. And I'm glad that I went back so I could be present. And I gave myself the opportunity to, like, really thank my younger self and feel like you went through what you did so we could get here now, and you made it through so we could get here now. So it's all about gratitude in the present for me.
Right. And I can say the same. I started Accept Addictions really just going back into myself, saying cool, for really just getting back to the root of who I am. And doing that, like you said, it became emotionally taxing because it's like, okay, I understand myself now. I'm going too far back. Okay, what do we do? Emotions. What are we doing with these feelings? What are we creating after this? Now it can just be a constant state of sulking, or what is the action-based thing I'm doing versus this, right? And honestly, nostalgia, like, we're in chaotic times, right? We have the pandemic, aftershocks, we got wars, we got inflation, climate anxiety. Nostalgia just gives this sense of comfort, this sense of control. And these stories are timeless, right? Like, are we addicted to, escaping into the past when it feels too much? Or, because I'm just basing it off, like, the kids today. What do they have? You had that versus yourself now. What do the kids have today? We had those 8 hour, we had the streaming, like, streaming replaced the sit down at 8 o'clock with family vibe, right? Mm-hmm. Like, where everybody sits down alone on demand in their own bubble. Actually, me and my boyfriend, we do watch MasterChef every week at the same time.
Okay. Yeah, but me and my girlfriend watch Abbott Elementary whenever it is on. We actually, like, watch it when it comes on so we can experience it in real time.
It's the little things, but we have that. But I don't. They're just waiting for it to come out, the whole season to come out. So it's like, It's a difference. Like, I was listening to your music and I heard you say you were reading Art of War by 11. And I'm like, that is those the Boondocks. You know what I mean? So we had a lot of different things. Like, I had the Art of War, I had The Secret, I had so many books still, as well as this media. So I feel like I had a good kind of mesh of things.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That. How do you feel about the kids today?
It's crazy when you ask that. I started thinking about my niece. She's 5, like a literal pandemic baby. And I realized that I see what things are for what they are, what they, could look like in a deeper lens because I'm older. but she's just going through her day every day, and like not nothing phases her, but like a lot of it doesn't matter to her. Like I asked her what she was wearing the other day. She had on this Lilo and Stitch like a nightgown, but like she just got out of bed. And to me, I'm like, Lilo and Stitch is from when I was a kid, but the fact that they're rebooting it and giving a new generation a chance to experience it, she don't care what it used to be like or what it looks like when I was a kid. She only cares what it feels like it looks like now. And I completely get that. It's so much bliss in, ideas to children that really give them like the sense of who they are. And if Lilo and Stitch or things like that are like helping shape her right now, I think they'll have something to look back on as nostalgia for them. It just won't be what ours is. And we looking at now like, I do not want to remember this. Like, I ain't gonna lie, we're going through it right now. This is not nostalgic to me, but they're gonna have that and be in such a different place. It's gonna remind them of all kind of things. And my goal, especially with like her and other kids growing up, I want to make them feel like I did when I was listening to certain artists when I was growing up. And I want them to have nostalgia for me, or to be like, dang, I miss music like this, or I really love that this is an artist I grew up with and he's still giving me what I love, you know?
That's beautiful. Absolutely. To see that and want to influence or inspire based on your own representation is amazing. I really do. Because I was going to ask, what are we creating? Yes, the studios and brands and labels are, nostalgia is a safe bet. People already loved it once. So why not repackage and sell it again? But it is a complete difference from, Lion King live action versus Lion King we grew up on. I never even saw Lion King that came out now. But but again, like it is a safe bet, and I understand and completely get it. But from you, what I was asking is, I understand nostalgia, but what are we creating now to make a difference in what the children are being inspired by? How do we personally balance making it work while being inspired by the things we grew up on?
To me, I feel like we've always done, like every single generation has done something that piggybacked off the last. So what was current and or innovative and new at the time, like late 90s, early 2000s, and the hip hop I was listening to, they were technically just giving me a version of the music they grew up on, but with their own twist. So they were sampling 70s and 60s soul music, which I wasn't around for, but I get a piece of because they're carrying on that legacy. So right now, I'm giving that same feel to people by, incorporating the West Coast G-Funk in my music that I grew up on, that stemmed from the 70s and 60s soul music. So the kids in the 30s and 40s of the 21st century will hear it and be like, wow, this is really good. Like, I like this. I don't hear this anymore. Or they understand it to be current from my perspective. Like, I'm giving a twist on all the things I was influenced by and I was inspired by, because the moment somebody else does something, it automatically makes it new. The moment we try to do what somebody else did, it literally tarnishes it. That's why we see certain movies or we hear certain music. It's like, oh, why did they do that to this song? Or like, they didn't have to remake this. Like, we were good. We don't need another Friday. We don't need another like Freaky Friday at that too. We can keep it where it was because it'll feel better if we remember it how it was. But some people don't want to do that. I'm in a space of taking what I learned growing up, what I experienced growing up, and adding me to it, because nobody else seen it how I seen it or heard it how I heard it. So when I put it out, it's all going to be new again. It's going to be a fresh perspective for it.
Absolutely. I completely agree. I love that, because I feel like at the end of the day, nothing is original in this world, but it takes adding our touch to it to make it ours now. Everyone is inspired by something. No matter if they know what it's stemmed from, it's unconsciously around you. This world is inspiring you. Whatever you interact with are inspiring you. But it takes you, now putting your name on it, or even like on a Virgil Abloh tip, that 5% or 2% change to it. It's still yours though. You know what I mean? At the end of the day. And I feel like what stops people a lot of times is feeling like they can't reimagine something. So I love that you take pride in that, in reimagining what made you who you are today.
Yeah, because I can't, even if I tried, like I couldn't not be influenced by it. So at some point, even if I think I'm doing something new, it's gonna sound like something I've heard before, and I think that's okay. Like they say, what is it? What is the quote? It's something around the lines of like, good artists steal, other artists like get inspired or something like that, because you're really just taking from what you've found growing up or experienced and adding your own twist to it. So yeah, I'm gonna sound like Kendrick Lamar to people because he came out before me and I was inspired by him. So until I, really shape a newer identity separate from him, you're gonna always associate me with artists like him until you get used to me. And now the new people then are gonna be like, oh, he sounds like Uraelb. He's not really different, but you got to give them a chance too. Just like I need you to give me a chance.
Yeah, to come into who you are. And that's anyone, any grade. We think that people just come out the womb amazing a rock star. They have to be inspired by somebody. Like, I'm literally reading right now the Rick James book, the memoir. He keeps naming people that he copied off of. He went through like 40 different groups before he was written. You know what I mean? Like, he went through 40 different groups, so many different people before he was Rick James. It's just, we have to allow people to come to experiment with themselves. We have to allow people to, we're so quick to cancel. We're so quick to, that's not you, or you shouldn't be doing this when you don't know this person. That's why I like to say the artists, because a lot of times people are just experimenting. Or sometimes artists are not even the ones making it. If we're being honest, look at Milli Vanilli. They weren't even making the music; they were just singing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's just like we just gotta like what we like and shut up.
Yeah, that is very true. That's the best way to get through it.
That's it. Because I'm like, when you finally get a platform to speak about it, it's like, okay, now you're gonna say, okay, this is where it rooted from. Like, for example, I was listening to Larry June. I didn't know, or Playboi Carti. I didn't know that he was inspired by Currency. I didn't know that his old music was. It's just like if you like someone, you got to know enough or go back further enough to know that they studied their masters. They did their job. They did their. But when it comes to music, I want to get deep into it. So let's take a break and jump into let's take a sip. And I'm going to allow a little difference today. The people aren't used to it. We're going to do this guilty pleasure segment with you personally reviewing this drink. So I'm going to let you take over. I've been talking a lot.
All right. Today, we're drinking GT Synergy, the real kombucha. That's what they call it.
Hello.
And this version is called Living in Gratitude. It's an artist series drink by Marcel Cel Blanco. And this particular drink was crafted by them in collaboration with GT. And it has apple, turmeric, carrot, and spices in it.
Sounds healthy.
Give it a taste. It does sound healthy. I'm gonna give it a taste right now. It looked healthy when I grabbed it, and I'm like, yeah, let's live in gratitude. Let's grab this. So let me see. Well, that's turmeric-y. Yeah. This is real healthy, and I like the turmeric combination with the apple. It's for sure tasting like a fall like dessert kind of. Like it definitely tastes good. Yeah, it has that apple like spice flavor to it. So I like it.
Does it taste like apple cider?
No, not as like sweet as the apple cider because it's kombucha, but it definitely isn't that vein of apple cider.
That's crazy. Y'all, would you believe he's trying to flavor before me? The kombucha. This is crazy.
And, you know, it's crazy when I was watching your podcast and just listening, I'm like, I fuck with her. She drinks kombucha like every segment, like every episode. Like, this is my thing. Like, I've been on kombucha for a couple years now. So, yeah, we the line.
What got you into kombucha?
So, honestly, I've been stopped drinking like soda and stuff from a while ago just because I didn't want to anymore. But kombucha was something I just found is like an acquired taste eventually because I don't drink or nothing. But I also was like, well, I want to try other tonics and drinks to see what I can put in me to help me feel better. And this was one of those things my girlfriend put me on because she had heard of it and like had different flavors before, but I didn't know what kombucha was probably to like 2018, 2019 or something like that. So when I started drinking it then, I'm like, oh, I can get into this. I'm a tea person anyway. I don't drink coffee or nothing. So this being like fermented tea or like different fruits fermented, it definitely gives me that natural feeling of like carbonation is still like, oh, I'm getting the feeling of soda without it being so bad. And I'm just like loving it now. Like I ain't really tripping on the taste. Like some people can't get past the bitterness sometimes. It's cool with me. I definitely prefer kombucha over a lot of stuff now.
I'm like, I'll pay that $4 every time. Every time. And because Synergy is the best. Like a lot of people are making other kombuchas that aren't real kombucha. Like I love that you started it's real kombucha because those canned stuff is
nah. And it's crazy the lady who was in the store one time when I bought one of these, she was explaining to me like how GT's makes theirs and why it's different from the other companies. And pretty much if you look on the bottle, a lot of companies make their kombucha with like 7-day fermentation, meaning it doesn't sit and ferment as long as GT's. Theirs says 30. And she like guaranteed me that's not like a shortcut or rounded off number. It's for sure 30. They don't do less. They don't do more. They do 30. I'm like, okay, maybe that is the difference. Maybe this is why this hit different for me.
You know, cut corners with kombucha. Like I make my own kombucha. There's no cut corners. You need the 30 days. You need to have the measuring. You need to check it every 8 hours. Yeah, they're doing they're doing their due diligence. Because I'm like 30 days. There's no way around the 30 days. You got to do it for that full time checking every. I was like, this is y'all got it. Y'all got y'all get it. But in due time, I want to have my own kombucha because I'm a tea girl. Like if you came to my crib, it's full with tea. All my boyfriend teaches English, so like we just drink every day, and it's just in due time we're gonna have a tea cafe. But fingers crossed.
Yeah, I'm trying to have one too. Maybe we're gonna have to collab on a brew, like get some particular herbs or something and make our own tea. But yeah, I'm in the tea world as well.
Ready when y'all, especially since you guys and your girlfriend's into it as well, right?
Yeah, she is, and not as much as me. She's for sure like a coffee person, but she loves tea and at least trying new things. And I've been more into tea just because I never liked coffee anyway. So as we're getting into our own like I guess life together, we're deciding you're gonna do this, I'm gonna do this. We're gonna bring it together. Like she's a real good chef and baker and has a lot of like desserts and sweets she makes, which is my other addiction. So it works perfectly with what I got. And knowing I want to live better and have like a wellness component to my brand. So me making tea, her doing sweets, and us having like a place to bring it all together is going to be the goal at some point.
Yeah. What is the wellness component that you want to bring to your brand?
Most likely it'll be like internal wellness to have external wellness. So really I'm an inside out person and one of those people who believe like it starts within. So everything I've been doing the past like 6-7 years of my life has been to solely like revitalize it and give myself the boost that I didn't feel like I had. I feel like I always lived life like back against the wall, like getting by until recently. So I feel like it was because I was allowing external pressure and things outside of me to dictate my decisions versus going within and kind of starting with, who I am at the core and then navigating the world like that. So it's a whole philosophy for me. I could explain it more, but really it is about channeling who you are inside, giving yourself the confidence first to do what you naturally want to do, and then also the grace to like learn and grow and transform as you go along it too. Because like you said, we don't come out the womb superstars. You got to give yourself time to really be the best version of yourself.
Absolutely. So you just stated something I wanted to go back on. You said you used to be someone that was, back against the wall. This was all a new change within 6 or 7 years ago. Was there something impactful that happened? What made you make this change to your reality altogether? Because it sounds like a mind, body, and soul kind of transformation. So what got you?
I mean, this is perfect. It's the second half of my album and project. And the theme to that is rebirth. About, like 2025? God. Yeah, something like 7 years ago. In general, I just like went to college. I started, living life on my own, and getting away from my family or just needing to be on my own sparked this a habit of hypervigilance and like I gotta get it. I gotta like be the one that does it all or like makes everything happen for myself. And that was how I was used to living. But upon meeting my girlfriend and getting in college and being in spaces where I have to fend for myself, I realized that was getting in my way. And not only that, but like the external pressures of like me being a football athlete and like needing to, be a certain kind of person when it came to how I represent myself. It all felt like I was doing it for other people. So at some point, I just started doing more wellness activities like yoga and meditation. I dove into spirituality and like comedic science and other things that I felt was calling me, but because I was trying to do what other people wanted me to do, I kind of like kept in my back pocket. Like when nobody was looking, this was the stuff I was into, or these were the things I was doing. So it was a more like hidden version of myself. So essentially, I just stopped hiding. Like I felt like, okay, I need a space where I can be me unapologetically. My girlfriend nurtured that. And being with her, and not only that, but like realizing like I have something to say and a story to tell via music, it kind of helped me transform into this person I am now, and I'm growing into be, and wanting to just be the best version, stop living in lack and stop feeling like if you don't have it now, you'll never have it. And those mentalities that I carry with me, I just started finding ways to shed. Like I went vegan 6 years ago. That was another version of me that wanted to shed the old and be out with the way I was told to do things and find something new to do,
Absolutely. I love that. It sounds like you've been quite on quite a journey, and I definitely want you to keep it up, especially you having the support around you and the love around you. That's amazing. It really comes down to reflecting, seeing what's around you in your environment and making a decision. Decision means to cut off and really being okay with that. Really being okay.
You did something with that. I never realized that etymology was like that. Decision, like that's crazy. I love what you just said.
It is, because you made the intentional decision to cut off what no longer was cohesive or to your reality. It wasn't something that you could no longer entertain, and that takes a lot of temptations everywhere, right? Like, so it's easy to fall old habits. So I definitely want to, especially with music, is that something that's keeping you grounded? Like how does that show up, or the rebirth of yourself now show up and keep you consistent in what you're trying to establish for yourself?
Yeah, music definitely is a grounding and very a stabilizing thing for me. And it's not something I grew up doing. Like I ended up learning music eventually and like getting more into the theory of it and practicing skills and training myself musically, but it was always expression to me. And in tandem with the idea that I wanted to start being myself fully and stop hiding parts of myself, I had to come more into that expression that music was for me. I had to start, when I walked in a room, telling people, hey, yeah, I do music, or if they ask, this is what I do, instead of saying things I think they want to hear from me. So music was always, yeah, exactly. Like music was always this badge for me that I carry internally because I cared about. But in order for me to live fully in that truth, I had to profess it or be more comfortable showing up in spaces, knowing that that's what I do or that's what I love. And like professing your love for something is never wrong.
Absolutely. People will make you feel like it's wrong, but they're not they're gonna reveal themselves. It's like this story. It's this story by Patti Smith called, and she basically, there's these two teens, they're musicians, and they said that they wanted to be artists. They didn't know anything about music at all, but they started dressing like it, and they started showing up and going to New York and just sitting in the park and just showing up as it and meeting people that are that, you know what I mean? By saying they are, they called it into the reality. And then next thing you know, people were taking pictures of them, stopping them like, hey, on a picture, you guys look cool. Are you rock stars or something? They're like, yeah. You know what I mean? Because they made it their reality by saying this is what they want, being certain about it, and everything else around them just falling into place, right? Because once you make that decision to do these things synchronously, like things just start adding up. Things just start rolling in your lap that you thought was so hard to come to you. They just start coming.
Yeah, I think therefore I am.
Absolutely. Okay. Let's get into the music. I definitely want to get into the music because with the nostalgia tape, starting from your most recent tape, let's start with how you got into music, because you said that you didn't start with music. Yeah. It's just recently got into.
Yeah. With music, it was an expression like growing up. I played sports, basketball, football, and I loved being good at things. Like that was my reason to do stuff. Like I honestly just did stuff because I wanted to like get good at it. And music became a thing for me because I guess like 8th grade, I started rapping and I'm writing like stuff down. Me and my like homies are freestyling at lunch or in the back of class, and it was just something to do. And like I said, it was an expression. But even after that, like listening to certain people like Tyler the Creator, Kendrick Lamar, and like a lot of people around LA that I grew up listening to, it made me realize like, yo, I want to be like this. Like I want to do what they're doing. And the person other than them specifically that unlocked that, like, yo, I want to be able to do this for me was Lil Wayne. Lil Wayne was the dude I listened to, and I'm like, yo, I gotta do something. Like I gotta be able to rap like this. And he sparked my journey into like really writing and rapping and learning like how to get good at it. By the time I got out of high school was when I really decided I wanted to take it serious. I started my branding company, Respect the Real, which was my mantra that I carry with me because that's what I felt like I always wanted to pursue in music. Like I wanted to be respected and I wanted to keep it real. So for the most part, that was where I started taking it serious, but it still came with like the challenges and troubles of like, well, how do you learn? You don't know theory or you don't know certain aspects of the music business. So all of that, I just started learning through YouTube University and teaching myself and giving myself the opportunity to be open to other people, showing me the ropes and learning from different people. And I'm an advocate, a super duper advocate of keeping people around you who do something better than you, because they do what they do, you do what you do. If y'all come together, it's all gonna work. And I love the fact that I get to learn from people around me. And music has just been that for me. Like I'm taking my craft of like writing and scribing and being an orator serious. And I let the musicians kind of do them, but I like to learn and speak their language. So I tend to study music regardless. If I'm not going to play an instrument, I still tend to study it so I know what I want or I can help them help me. So it's all been working out in that regard. And it's something I took as an expression, but started taking serious because I want to change the world. I want to make people feel how I felt listening to music. And I feel like I have a lot to say and a lot to give.
You do, absolutely. Thank you for that. I'm so happy you gave that spiel on where you started, who your inspirations were, and what you plan to do with it, because it's important to know what your purpose is. And this isn't something that you're just chasing it can roll off if you don't have that purpose, that goal in mind. If it isn't something that just for clout, we're all responsible for each other at the end of the day. That's what I feel. And I feel like the music, the brand that you're putting out is taking that responsibility, the humanity that we need in the world, and restoring that by, whatever community we build, the people that we're around are having that same mission. And it keeps you stronger to know that, there's a lot of things going on in this world, but there is still good going on. There's still good doing that's happening today. So thank you for the work that y'all are doing. So
thank you. I appreciate it. And thank y'all, everybody who even creates anything, for listening and consuming art. Like we all gotta share each other's beliefs and feelings so we can keep the message going and keep the energy of our creations going. Like it all matters.
It does. Absolutely. So I want to talk about nostalgia. I love nostalgia. Okay. Top tier. Hello. I'm like, wait, and you have Mick Jenkins on like other, I'm just like, this guy's crazy. So it's just like so many. But starting with nostalgia because it's your most recent project, I loved it. I love that you referenced so much. Like on To Kick It, you had the Pretty Ricky 5 in the Morning, as well as that ATL part. I was like, what? Are people gonna pick this up? Because it's just like it's super mixed. So it's like you really know the reference, you won't get it. But it's like every song had references. You had Moesha. I was like, this is hitting.
I'm glad you picked that up. A lot of people don't know that, and that's why that like song and skit is titled what it is. Because yeah,
people don't pick that up. Yeah, I'm just I love greatness, and you definitely did it very sequential, to a T, very neat, very clean. And if you know, you know what I mean. That's what matters. Yeah. Even with my stuff, anything I do, I feel like it's very subtle. And if you pay attention, you pay attention. You know what I mean? Like this is not for everyone. I'm not doing things to be for everyone. I'm doing it so that the people that know or are familiarized or can resonate do. That's it. That's it.
Nah, I feel that. That's crazy that you say that because on Saturday at my show here in Arizona, before I got into this particular segment where I was like doing some nostalgic stuff, I was like, yo, make some noise if you was born between 1990 and 2005. And people made noise, but I also seen some people like, dang, I can't say nothing because they just weren't in that bucket. Like, it wasn't for them. So the stuff I was finna do was for a particular generation and group of people. So sometimes if you know, you know. If you're in that, you know, vicinity, you'll get it. And a lot of people just, yeah.
So how has your nostalgia been landing for you at this point in time? Especially like with this theme, how's it going for you?
You know, it started like real heavy. I think it was like, end of 2020, like 2021. And I think the thing that kicked it off for me was them throwing certain stuff on Netflix. And me be like, oh, I want to rewatch this. So like Moesha was one of those things.
Okay.
And as I'm rewatching it, I had this like crazy epiphany that I modeled like my my attachment after like people like her character. And it was crazy because I never realized that, but my ex was kind of like that, and it was stuff I seen in her that I seen in Moesha, or like other girls like Raven from That's So Raven, and people who were doing these like high achieving things or wanted to like I'm showing up, like impressing people and doing things that other people can't. So it was weird to me to watch that and to really like realize, okay, I'm starting to realize what influenced me and impacted a lot of my decisions without me even knowing. And Moesha was one of those things. Like Smart Guy was another thing. I think they threw on like Disney Plus or something when I was starting to watch some stuff again. And I remembered the show, and I used to watch a lot of the reruns of it, and I was realizing like, oh, I definitely resonated with this kid, bro. Like, I'm ahead of my time for my age. And I think people have a problem with that. And I never knew it because as a child, I'm just trying to like show up and be who I am and like hope I make other people happy and safe around me. But sometimes people hate on you or like not treat you well just because like it ain't even your fault. Like, you still got to do you. So Smart Guy was another thing I dove into that made me realize like, yeah, this said something to me, and I was watching this and not really knowing what it was saying at the time. So it started a whole trip. I rewatched My Wife and Kids on Netflix too. And it was one of those things like, dang, I forgot how good this show felt. Like the Wayans brothers, Keenan and Kel, a lot of the stuff that I grew up on, like Drake and Josh too. I started watching that again not too long ago. But yeah, it's crazy to think that the nostalgia itself is something you kind of keep with you because it's the one thing you hang on to from childhood that feels good, but it informs your decisions without you knowing. And they know they're informing you when they make these TV shows and they put out this media. They know they're subconsciously like programming you as a kid to do certain things or act a certain way. But to see what it really turned me into or like how it affected my life going on is crazy. And it's just been fun to really unpack and explore.
Mm-hmm. That's so interesting you say that, because even when you're saying and noticing the influence it has on you now, I said that I would like to reflect and revisit a lot of things I watched as a kid too, like My Wife and Kids, Malcolm in the Middle, all those cool, funny stuff.
Yeah.
Realized like they didn't really have good messages. Like for example, I was watching SpongeBob with my niece, and she started hitting me like I'm packed, like I'm spoiled. So I'm like, what?
Oh.
I'm like, girl, what? She said, imagination. I'm like, you're not supposed to do that to me. That's not.
That's crazy.
It's influencing. So it's like, I like to think about what the kids have now, because we had like I feel like we had a lot of preteen things, kid things, preteen things, then teen things, then teenager, then adult stuff. Like we had Disney Channel, Cartoon Network, then we had Teen Nick, then we had crazy black movies that we weren't supposed to be watching.
Yeah, for sure.
Like it was levels to it, but I feel like now everything is of access. Like I had parental controls. That was fun, trying to get out and do all these things. But noticing the influence is scary, right? Because it's like you can be like, you see people as you're growing up, and it's like, wow, if you didn't have a different medium versus like a person in your life, an adult, a guardian, to tell you that you need to read that book, you need to turn the TV off, then that's what you become. Like you saying the Smart Guy thing, I always had this. I love Ty the Creator. I love Earl Sweatshirt because he had this quote: two white for the black kids, two white for the black.
Two black for yeah.
guy thing, I was just like, that's how I felt as a kid. I've always felt I didn't belong because I was either too smart or too dumb, whatever it might be. Just there wasn't a real belonging until I fully was radically honest about who I am as a person, radically honest about who, and being the advocate instead of being the wallpaper. You know, I could easily be the wallpaper because I was an observing kind of person. But I was like, let me speak up. And when I did speak up, you realize a lot of people feel these things. They're just scared. Acceptance addiction is all about that. You know, me putting everything on my sleeve and saying what it is and just being okay with it. Me wearing this mask and being that mascot to say, this is who I am. This is what I've been through and I'm still growing. Don't hold me to it. And that's what we all are doing.
Yeah, no, that's very true. And the crazy thing is when I was like getting ready to sit down and talk with you, I was thinking like, what is actually something I'm addicted to? And the like bittersweet part of it was realizing like I've been addicted to success or like trying to achieve it for so long that it was one of those, okay, this is something society put on me. Like I have to be something or else I ain't shit, you know? And I think that's the misconception about living life. Like a purpose isn't to achieve per se. Like purpose is filling space and purpose is being and existing in matter. Like you have to matter just because you're existing. And to achieve or to overachieve, especially, you're like, make sure I only show up as like my successes has been a problem and addiction for me because I feel like I can't even hold a conversation with somebody unless they're impressed by me or unless they do something or they see me do something that feels like, okay, this is worth talking to. Like he's worth talking to now. And I've been battling that like most of my life. So it's crazy to realize, we're in spaces and times where you kind of have to like check yourself from time to time. I know you going about space and moving through the world just to like get by it, but you do have to check your habits in a way that's like, is it serving me? Is it not? Or how could I be if I wasn't these things? Like if it was all said and done, what would I actually be? And if I'm happy with that, then I think I'm living life the best. But if I'm not, then I gotta look at my life and change some things.
Oh my God, nail on the head. Being in service, because I feel like sometimes we feel like we have to be in service to matter, and we don't. You know what I mean? When really it's about where do you feel your energy is most efficient? Where do you feel it makes most difference? Instead of just putting it aimlessly everywhere and then feeling burnout and then being resentful and then blowing up, where would you not be exhausted putting your energy? And that takes time to sit with yourself instead of what we constantly been doing is unlearning people pleasing, you know? We have been in people pleasing state. So now, okay, what do you need and what will you need? Because I'm not like, we have to do things out of self-interest, of course, but what is something that drives you as per self that is going to make a difference for others? And that's enough. Once you have that answer, do that. Because a lot of times you're doing things aimlessly for no reason. Now you're burnt out, now you're mad, now you're destructive to everyone around you. So, reflection is the key word today, I guess. Absolutely.
Yeah, for sure.
So with the smart guy, what made you make that be the title for smart guy? Like what exactly was like, okay, because you said it was different for you growing up. People didn't like you. Well, give me some tea.
You stupid. Smart guy was just, it was one of those ways I wanted to do the nostalgia. So like in my album, like the full version of the EP you listen to, like the very first song is just a bunch of skits, like random TV commercials, and then me telling like my life story because my life felt like episodic in a way. Like it felt like it was a mixture of like imagination, fantasy, and then hardships and realities. So Smart Guy is a song where I'm still kind of like subtly nodding at the nostalgia, but telling my life. Like I am not like, what's the kid's name? TJ Henderson. I'm not him, but the song is a nod to feeling like him and realizing like, yeah, in my own life, these were the ways that I felt like a smart guy or above my, the peers around me and ahead of my time. And the way I describe like my outlook on life, like you said, kind of being a wallpaper and observing, like I could read rooms and feel energy or like notice things analytically as a kid that I don't even know if other kids could do at the time, but I remember experiencing that. So I always felt like, ahead of my time and even realizing like things I learned from people older than me, like The Art of War, like strategies and 48 Laws of Power, from people who were not only like coaches to me and mentors, but like these were criminals and felons and like they didn't live the most pristine life, made me realize like I could take so much beauty from people who society would outcast and like throw in the trash. And they were giving me that. They were giving me the best they could, no matter what they had been through. They know I'm a kid and they trying to pour into me in the best way possible. Even if it come off sideways or probably get canceled today. That's just what they was doing.
Hard enough to have discernment.
Yes, I was. Yeah, that's the other part about it. Like the discernment eventually led me into like the rebirth and regrowth of my life when I started like going off the rails and realizing like I don't have to be these things. Like I can be what I want, or I can be more positive than destructive. I don't want to turn into what's happening to me. So let me like restructure this and like be what I feel like I need to be.
I hear you when you're saying it, and I'm like, I completely resonate and feel familiarity. So people listening, smart guy, is exactly what we're talking about. Yes. But I love your tape. Just know, resonate, we're here with it. If there was a movie or a show from your childhood that you could reboot, what would you want it to be and why?
Reboots. That's crazy because I'm a staunch, like firmly against rebooting stuff solely because I like it how it was. But I'm gonna answer the question because I really need to think about this. Reboot. I think for the sake of like, yeah, we got a lot to talk about, I would do the Boondocks, but I like what it was, so it would have to hit exactly the same, or else this is gonna be like, all right, you could have kept this, bro. But I want to reboot that from a socio-political standpoint because, like I said, it's a lot to talk about. Like, it's some crazy things going on, but also because I honestly want to do the theme song for it. Like, if they reboot that, I got to do the theme song. Yeah, that's one of the ones for me. If I had to pick another one, especially like a sitcom, a live action, or something like that, I guess I would reboot something like The Sweet Life of Zach and Cody. Like that was one of my shows too. And it's weird because my song Bounce is literally like a antithesis to that entire show. I grew up in LA, and at certain points in my life, especially like after the recession, I started living in hotels. And it wasn't because I could have like afford that. It was just like, all right, we're trying to evade homelessness, and here we are living in hotels. So in some ways, that show was kind of like bittersweet to me, regardless. But the idea that like my song and the reason I made that song was similar to the feelings that song felt was like, this is the sweet life, even though it's technically not. Like, I'm in a hotel, but this is not the sweet life for me. So I would reboot something like that just to give my childhood self a feeling of like, yeah, man, you can do whatever you want or live a certain life, and it kind of just be centered around you as a kid. Like, they were around a bunch of adults or older people that made them feel like what they were doing as children were wrong. But they was just being kids at the end of the day. So I think it's something powerful in that, like letting kids be kids and having a kids show centered around kids, and it not having like super adult themes, but it having things that teenagers or preteens will actually experience and go through.
Yeah, because even you saying that, it's like you don't notice it till you're an adult. Notice that
exactly.
It's hard for them. They're living in a hotel, obviously. You know, it's just like time. It's so much. Wow, you just gave me perspective as well. Like, I didn't think about Cody in that way, but and you and how you have familiar towards it. I'm like, wow, that's amazing. That's what perspective does. That's what media does, and that's why it's beautiful. But it also can be, it can also be bad, you know, because like, you know, Bell Hooks has this quote about basically media being bad. Like when Braveheart, the movie came out, everyone chose a side. Like Braveheart is this like military movie. And I think it was based in Ireland. People just became super like choosing a side of like Irish people in America. And it's like, remember, this is fiction. You know what I mean? Like, remember, this is fiction. So it's like media is crazy. It's beautiful, but it's like I love it. So for you, I know we are going past the time we're going. I have so much to talk about, but I definitely want to know more about what because with your Moonlight song, we love it. Love it.
Thank you.
Okay. So,
Thank you.
yes. So we definitely want to hear about what you have in the works, any artists you will be working with in the future. And if, how did you get with Mick Jenkins? Because that's my boy. I started with the the Waters album.
Yeah. Nah, that was full circle for me because I also was there. Like, if you was there, you was there. Like, the Waters dropped and, like, the real streets went crazy because Mick Jenkins is one of those lyricists and writers and musicians that always made me realize, like, yeah, I got to do this. Like, he's taking this to the next level when it comes to putting words together and talking about something and having substance in the music. So I was always a fan and inspired. But in 2023, really late 2022, he was giving out features like on Instagram and social media. He was like, hey, if you want to feature, like, email this email. And I'm like, for sure. Like, I actually didn't have Moonlight ready. Yeah. It was a whole different song I sent him because I just wanted to email him and make sure he got something sent his way so I could be on the radar and get something potentially in the works with him. But by the time he responded to me and my friend, we cooked up this other song that was like perfect for him. As soon as I heard the beat he made and I started feeling it, I was like, oh, I have the perfect song. Like, I think this would be better to send to Mick Jenkins. So I sent him that. Not only did he rock with it, but he came to the studio we were working in LA and was like, yeah, I'll pull up. Like, we can record this. And I'm like, oh, for sure, bro. Like, let's do this. And once he came through, we were chopping it up and honestly just talked for like a good 30 minutes before we even start doing something. And it made me realize, like, yeah, I needed this for my younger self. Like, the 9th grader who was bumping the Waters and listening to Mick Jenkins, who was like, yeah, I need to get on his level, is finally on his level. Like, we in a room with this dude. And being in a room with people you're inspired by and you've always like appreciated and valued does wonders for your confidence. So working with him was amazing. He's a real dope dude. He put a lot of gems, not only in that song, but to me as a person and artist. And I just respect him. Like, he's a real dope dude. And I think me in that moment had to like not fawn or not like shrink and minimize myself because I feel like imposter syndrome. Like, I had to realize, like, you're in the room and on a song with Mick Jenkins because, like, you're that dude, bro. Like, you can keep up, like, you're with him. So it was a beautiful moment for me. And that song is actually inspired by my grandpa who passed that year. And the bittersweetness of the, like, grass being greener on the other side and me feeling like, yeah, you're not here anymore. And I could, like, definitely wish I was in your position, but I'm still here for a reason. And, like, the sun can always shine on you. And when the sun is too bright, like the moon is there for you. Like, it still has its own radiance. And if you need to tone it down and just dim the lights a little bit, go ahead, vibe out. Like, the moonlight is beautiful.
Wow. And that's why it's called Moonlight. That's beautiful.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And you would never think such an uplifting song was about loss. Well, it's definitely lost.
Yeah. I have this weird syndrome. I call it Andre 3000 syndrome, where you say something, but you mean something completely different, or like, your tone is antithetical to the actual feel of the song. Because he does that a lot. Like, Andre 3000 talks about very deep subjects in a happy or very, like, uplifting way. Like on the song Hey Ya, that's one of those songs where, like, if you listen to the lyrics, this is technically not positive. This is a very dark song. But I appreciate the juxtaposition people like him and, other artists are able to do, because it adds value to people's lives without them realizing it. You're subconsciously helping them, like, unpack things and digest it. But music is about feeling good and vibing. So at this point, let's just make sure it sounds good. I don't care what I talk about. As long as it sounds good, we're good, you know?
You do care what you talk about, but you're doing it in a digestible way. And it's crazy. I'm very specific in particular about the artists I bring to my shows. Especially, I just want to make sure your message aligns and what you're doing is for a greater good. So, like, I really feel that you are there already. You already understand the full purpose. So even choosing you, I was just like, yeah. I mean, you reaching out to me, I was like, let me listen to his music. Let me do my due diligence, my research. Yeah. Is there an artist that you have in mind that you would want to work with at this point in time? Like, someone you dream to work with?
Yeah, most definitely. There's a couple. Personally, yeah, I need to do something with Kendrick Lamar or Beyonce. That's just one of my legacy. Like, I hope to be able to collaborate with them artistically. Another couple of artists would be Earth, Wind and Fire or George Clinton. I love funk, soul, like disco, black music, honestly, all black music. So I would love to work with them. And in today's world, like the people who are also like on the rise or coming and want to, impact the world in a real strong way. It would probably be Earth Gang. Earth Gang is another group and duo I really fuck with, and I felt like inspired me in college to do my first project, and I would love to work with them. They're a group of people I know we would like do some crazy work with. And then like I'm on tour with Coda the Friend. Like I would love to work with him. We're gonna connect at some point because I also was inspired by him in college too. So I gotta get music with all these people. These people I feel like resonate with what I do musically and in the messages I make. But also they're separating themselves from the mold and kind of standing out. So these are all of my inspirations I gotta collab with.
Absolutely. You're doing the work from the people you listen to, from the things you consume. It's coming. Mm-hmm. Especially being in LA, Kendrick right there is happening. Like, hello, you're already on.
You're gonna make it happen.
Like you've laying the groundwork. So I feel like consistency is what matters. We're not trying to be for everyone at the end of the day. Like the people I love the most to have small communities that are consistent and keep them running. You know what I mean? That's it. I want to be, like the currencies. Like currency could drop every freaking week. Well, every week. Their fans don't let up. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. I can see that for yourself. Like you're your own niche, you're your own style of music, and you don't need to be the Drake to kind of, you don't have to experiment on every kind of level to have your fan base that understands you, gets you, and loves you. That's all I want for this at the end of the day. People that resonate get it, and that's enough. And when you were saying the Boondocks thing, I didn't want to cut you off, but have you ever watched Atlanta?
Yeah, I love that show. I love Atlanta.
Oh, because I'm like, Atlanta's kind of like a reboot of Boondocks in its own way.
In its own way, you're right. And I never thought about it like that, but it definitely is. Atlanta was that social lens for the Black community from a particular lens that said, what are we doing? Like, do you see this shit? Like, and it was the hyper surrealism in it that also made it like kind of like the Boondocks, because they did that a lot, where they would take things that really were like far out and imaginative and like bring it into like, what if this actually happened though?
But it can, because it's happening. They make it seem, I love the shows like the Boondocks, the Atlanta, because they make it seem so far out. Even your music make it seem so far out. But once a person explains the episode, explains the song, it's like, oh, I went through that. I'm familiar. Mm-hmm. It's just great. Like the Andre 3000. I'm going to start using that because that's fire. The Andre 3000. Instead that juxtaposition with Andre 3000, I never thought about it like that. But it's just digestible, but this is so deeply rooted.
Yeah. And all of those artists, whether it's movies, TV shows, or music, those are the people I connect with who are like telling you layers of stories or layers of like things to, digest. And it's all there for you. Like you can stay at the top level or you can dive deeper and dive even deeper and still appreciate it.
And that's what they're going to do with this episode. That's what the people are going to do. So that's the point of Accepted Addictions, for it to be digestible, but you to find the message in it. Yes, this is about accepted addictions, but know that these accepted addictions either taint you, they're either not developing you, and know the habit in it, and if it's benefiting you. That's what this is all about. Yes, nostalgia is cool and great, but as we have this conversation, you and I realized that the most important thing was to be present. The most important thing is to take what you need, but be present for what you need to give to today. So I appreciate you coming on the episode and making it really special with your reflections, your anecdotes, and everything you had to offer. Is there anything you want to give the people or share with the world before we let you go?
Yeah, I'm super thankful. Like the kombucha said, I'm living in gratitude right now. Today's my birthday. I turned 27 in the right Virgo season of 2025, and I feel beautiful. Like I'm doing what I love. I'm on tour right now with an artist I've always looked up to and appreciated. I just dropped an album. Like y'all gotta get this classic hip hop album called Respect the Real Volume 2. Nostalgia is all on there. The second half, Rebirth, is on there, and it's free to download on my website, Uraelb.com. That's Uraelb.com. And most importantly, like I said, I'm living in gratitude, and I just want to thank everybody listening. I want to thank pDubs for having me, and also I want to thank the people who don't know that I exist yet. They're constantly like searching for somebody like me, because you give me that sense of like, what if, to keep going. I know I don't know everybody and know people who haven't heard of me yet. So as long as you're out there, I'm going to keep giving y'all what I have and keep giving y'all all I got. And the energy is going to align and something's going to bring you to me. And you're going to be super thankful you were brought to me, because I'm really him. I'm that dude when it comes to music. And I'm going to make sure people know that I'm the superstar of the 21st century.
Thank you so much, Uraelb. Oh my God. Happy birthday.
Thank you.
Oh
Appreciate you.
27 Club, that you made it. You literally made it.
Yeah, we here.
Gosh, that's amazing. Well, oh my, you guys are driving back to Cali. Do you have any plans for your birthday?
Oh, yeah. So I'm not doing much because it's weird that I've been on the road for my birthday like the past 6 years. I've always been doing something, traveling, but I'm honestly gonna lean into my addictions. I'm gonna go get some dessert and drive back to LA knowing like I got some good dessert on me, and we just gonna like scenic route, take a few stops here and there to see stuff, and honestly I'm gonna just chill. Like that's my biggest thing is I don't really have to do much for my birthday. I want to explore, go see something, chill, get some good food of course, and then make sure like I'm just in a relaxed state. So I'm finna have a good day and vibe out, leaving Arizona and going back to LA.
I'm happy that you even decided to work with us, choose us, and on this day, because it's your day, you want to self-indulge. It's your birthday. I want definitely make it a priority to do the most out for it. At the end of the day, not everybody makes 27. So I put it on you to really indulge on this big day.
Yeah, no, I'm thankful for it. I definitely am. I have friends and family who didn't make it here, and I have plenty of people who I love and wish they were here right now to do this with me or to see it. And I know they are ethereally, but for the sake of me being in the present, I'm gonna enjoy 27. It's the divine 9 right here.
Divine 9, man. That's it. I got in a little car accident a month before my birthday. I turned 27. A month. A day. My birthday is Juneteenth, and I got in a car accident. Like, car flipped crazy. May 19th. I was like, bro, I'm supposed to be here. And then, so just like, yeah.
No, I'm thankful you're here. Thank you for this.
I'm here, and I'm making the most of it every day. And just like when you said you made moonlight for for your grandfather, I go hard every day. pDubs Unlimited for my brother. He just passed this November, and he gave me the pDubs. So every day I'm going harder for him. So I feel it, I understand it, and happy birthday again. Thank you so much.
Thank you. I appreciate you, and thank y'all for listening, for real.
Thank you all for joining me today. To the lives we lead, to the moments we make, to the dreams we wish, and to the fucked up shit we can't erase. Cheers to us. Catch pDubs next time on Accepted Addictions. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and I'll see you all next week. Welcome to Accepted Addictions with pDubs. Get ready to immerse yourself in a podcast that's open to people of all stripes and persuasions. Accepted Addictions is not just a podcast, it's a movement. We go over societal norms that are considered acceptable, but are often toxic to our growth, development, and even behavior. This is a platform where we explore the multifaceted identities within ourselves, recognizing that some versions have it all figured out, while others lean into that negativity. This is Accepted Addictions, where every version of you, every evolution of you, is not just embraced, but celebrated. So sit back, open your ears, grab a drink. I'll be sipping on my kombucha and prepare for an engaging journey.
Well, everything that's supposed to be bad make me feel so good. Everything they told me not to do is exactly what I would. Man, I tried to stop, man. I tried the best I could. What your addiction is? Accepted Addictions with pDubs.